Now, if Allah had told Hazrat Muhammad Rasul Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam before this that you are the Khatam in the sense that no prophet can ever come after you, then in the next breath, how could Allah take this covenant from Hazrat Muhammad Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? He could have avoided the word minka, a small addition unnecessarily, perhaps, according to the others. We don't believe in unnecessary additions in the Quran, but the others have to say. Perhaps by mistake it was added, but there is no mistake in the Quran. The word minka is the key to the understanding of Khatamiyat. He did not exempt Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam for this, and the wordings were, again I repeat, لما آتيتكم من كتاب وحكمة ثم جاءكم رسول مصدق لما معكم لتؤمنن به ولتنصرنه. Now, when we present this to the non-Ahmadi scholars who sometimes debate the issue with us, they take the plea that it is not possible to translate it as you think it should be translated, because no prophet did the bai'at of the following prophet. So what do they mean by yu'minunna bihi or la tu'minunna bihi? How could they believe in the prophet which had not come? So this does not mean this. We say, all right, what else does it mean then? Does it mean that tu'minunna bihi means you will never believe in such a prophet? Moreover, personal contact in Iman is not at all essential, because we believe in all the prophets of God, even those whose name are not mentioned in the Quran. The Holy Quran says we don't know their history, where they were born, but we believe in all of them. لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. This is Iman. To believe in all the prophets is essential. Yet, to come and come into the presence of all the prophets is not mentioned at all. So the presence of the believer and the one who comes is not essential. Number one. Number two, the Holy Quran speaks of Hazrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam professing his belief, not only in himself, but also in all the prophets of God. So it's no insult to Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to believe in another prophet if he comes. You see, آمنا بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه. That's the first thing. The first person to believe in a prophet is the prophet himself. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله. So this means that for every prophet to believe in every other prophet is essential. So also it was for Hazrat sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But if he was the last in time, as they say, then why should a prophet be mentioned in case of covenant from him, which was not to come? That is the important thing. About the past, the Holy Quran already speaks that Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam believed in all the past prophets. Why there was any need to add minka and to refer to that covenant which speaks of a prophet to come? This is a very important thing. And secondly, it's very important to know, to understand, how would they musaddiq, just a minute, لَتُؤْمِنُنَّ بِهِ وَلَتَنْصُرُنَّهُ. You will not only believe in him, you will help him and help his cause. Recently, a munazara was held in Tamil Nadu area, is it, yes, perhaps somewhere in India, the south. I don't remember the exact name, but it was a very well advertised munazara between ulama of the non-Ahmadis and Ahmadi ulamas. This verse was also presented there. The non-Ahmadi scholar said, okay, look here, Hazrat Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he is already returned to God, how could he help? So it doesn't apply to him. They forget the fact that the same same misaq, when it is mentioned in Surah Ahzab, speaks. Number 8? Yes, that's what I was saying. Yes. وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ مِيثَاقَهُمْ وَمِنْكَ وَمِنْ نُوحٍ وَإِبْرَاهِيمَ. The first example quoted by the Quran is from Nuh and Ibrahim, while Nuh and Abraham did not meet.
No, that's obvious.
There is a flood in between them, devastating flood, which almost destroyed everything else. They did not mean, how could he help Abraham? So, if he still could help Abraham, how could Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam not help the one who is to come in his own ummah? So that is a very important thing. And here, Hazrat Ibrahim also in the Holy Quran is mentioned, min shiyate Nuh. So that's a very interesting similarity which is implied in this example, in this illustration. After Hazrat Nuh, there was a long, long distance of time between Nuh and Abraham, yet God took covenant from Noah to help the coming prophet, who was born many centuries after, and his name was Abraham. And because there is a condition laid that that prophet whom you must help must be of your style, your thinking, your beliefs, and must not contradict anything which you say. So if such a prophet comes, where is the harm in helping him? And to emphasize this point, the Holy Quran at another place says, Abraham was min shiyat Nuh. So now, if Abraham could be helped by Noah, being from his Shia, why Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's prophet to be born in his own ummah as a complete subordinate to him and the Holy Quran should not be helping him? That is one thing. And the second thing is that without the help of a prophet, the other prophets cannot be properly accepted. And here the help means, as the Holy Quran has said, مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيَّ مِنَ التَّوْرَاةِ وَمُبَشِّرًا بِرَسُولٍ يَأْتِي مِن بَعْدِ اسْمِهِ أَحْمَدُ. Hazrat Isa alayhi salatu wasalam helped Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam by not only believing in him, but predicting about him. So this is how the prophets help each other. So if Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself has predicted the coming of a Mahdi or the advent of Jesus Christ, then this is the meaning how he fulfilled his misaq. And that is another proof that those traditions are right. They are based on the Quran and they are not imagined by people or concocted by people of a later date. If you don't accept those ahadith, then this misaq is not fulfilled in any way. Because that is the only way the prophets help, by warning their own people, preparing them mentally for acceptance of the one to come. So whoever we find in a hadith comes under this verse. So the whole thing is tied up, and it reads not only sense, it becomes a beautiful internal organization of the Quranic system, which is revealed in these connections. Right? I hope you understood all this. Could I make it clear?
Yes.
Because it's a bit involved, right? Okay.